All right, let's dive in. Today, we're going to talk about something that's, well, absolutely crucial for any data professional. It's that moment you turn your code, your brilliant pipeline, into a real, living, breathing thing out in the world. We are talking about deployment. It's time to get that code off your laptop and into reality. I mean, this is the big question, right? You've spent weeks, maybe months, building and testing your pipeline. It runs like a dream on your machine. But that's not where it adds value. The real magic happens when it goes live. So, now what? What's that next huge step?
Okay, to make this super concrete, let's put ourselves in a scenario. You're a data engineer at a hot new food delivery startup, Hungry Now. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to launch a brand new pipeline for surge pricing insights. The business is literally waiting on this to make better decisions. No pressure or anything.
So, how do we actually do it? How do we get our awesome Hungry Now pipeline from our computer into the wild without, breaking everything? Well, you need a plan. You need a deployment playbook. Think of this as your guide, your map for the journey ahead. So what exactly is this playbook? Look, it's not about memorizing one specific tool. It's more of a mindset, a craft, really. It's the knowledge of how to safely, securely, and efficiently get your work out there where it can actually be used. This is the moment your code stops being a project and starts making a real impact. Right, so here's the thing. Deployment is not a one-size-fits-all deal. Not at all. It's more like a journey with a bunch of different paths you can take. And picking the right path? Well, that depends entirely on your project, your team, and honestly, how much risk you're willing to take. So let's quickly run through some of these common approaches, right? You've got the classic dev, test, prod. That's your standard quality gatekeeper. Then there's a Canary release, which is kind of cool. You release your new feature to just a tiny slice of users first to see what happens, like a canary in a coal mine. Blue-green is super clever. You have two identical live environments. You just flip a switch to send traffic to the new one. Voila, zero downtime. And then you have the holy grail, CI/CD pipelines, where the whole thing is automated for super fast, frequent releases. Okay, this is where the rubber meets the road. Let's bring this back to our Hungry Now quest. Just flipping the switch and rolling out our new surge pricing model to the entire country at once? That's risky. A much, much smarter move would be a Canary release. Let's push it to, say, just a couple of cities first. We watch it, we monitor it, and once we're sure it's not going haywire, then we roll it out to everyone. See? Strategy. Every good quest requires the right gear. And, to walk any of these paths, you need the right tools in your toolkit. So let's take a look at what the pros are using. The best way to think about this is like a high-tech assembly line. It all starts with your code, which you're managing in Git. Then Docker comes along and puts your code into this perfect little self-contained box, a container, so it works the same everywhere. An orchestrator like Airflow is the boss, telling that container exactly when to run. Terraform is like the architect, building the entire factory, your cloud infrastructure, from code. And then the whole thing is automated by your CI/CD tool, maybe Azure DevOps or GitHub Actions, which runs the entire assembly line from start to finish. And this is the secret sauce, right? You never just use one tool in isolation. A pro sounds like this. They talk about how they containerized with Docker, automated the deployment with Azure DevOps, and managed the schedule with Airflow. It shows you understand the whole ecosystem, not just one piece. Okay. We've got our strategy, we've got our tools. But of course, every good quest has its dangers, its monsters. And deploying code without understanding the risks is like walking through a minefield with a blindfold on. Let's talk about the things that can go boom. Let's talk about some classic blunders. First step, you push your new code and it breaks everything. If you don't have a plan to roll it back instantly, you're looking at a complete system failure, live, in front of all your users. Or how about this one? You skip the test environment because you're in a hurry. What happens? Every single bug you missed goes straight to your users. Your company's credibility, that just took a nosedive. This one is the stuff of nightmares. You hard code a password or an API key right into your script. If that code ever gets seen by the wrong person, you've basically just handed over the keys to the kingdom. We're talking a massive security breach. And finally, the silent killer. No orchestration. Your pipeline just stops working in the middle of the night. It fails silently, and nobody knows until your boss comes knocking asking why yesterday's reports are completely blank. Okay, so how do we dodge these bullets? By being a professional, by having a checklist. Before you even think about deploying, you should be asking these questions. Are our secrets and passwords stored safely somewhere, like a key vault? Have we set up monitoring and alerts so we know the second something breaks? And for goodness sake, do we have a documented plan to roll back if things go wrong? All right, so why does all this matter? Where's the payoff for you? It's about proving your skills, whether you're in a job interview or getting your portfolio project reviewed. So when it comes down to it, what is a hiring manager or a senior engineer really looking for?
Here's the cheat sheet. First off, they want to see that you didn't just pick a strategy out of a hat, that you actually considered your options. They're definitely looking for hands-on use of tools like Git, CI/CD, and Docker. They need to know that you've thought about the scary stuff, rollbacks, downtime, and risk. And maybe most importantly, they want to see that you've actually deployed something for real, not just talked about it.
So, when they ask about your strategy, here's your powerhouse answer. This single sentence shows you chose a specific strategy, the Canary release, for a specific smart business reason, to minimize disruption. That's a huge green flag. Now, to show you actually know your tools, you'd say something like this. It's clean, it's confident, it clearly states the what and the why for each tool, and it proves you understand a modern automated workflow. And what about showing you get the deeper why behind the tools? You'd say this. Anyone can say they used Docker, but when you explain that you used it to ensure consistency and kill the whole "it works on my machine" problem, you show you're thinking like a senior engineer. And finally, to show you're not just a coder but a true professional who thinks about the long game, you bring it home with this. This demonstrates maturity. It shows you don't just throw code over the wall and walk away. You build things to last. And that brings us full circle. You've got the playbook, you've got the tools, and you know where the dangers are hiding. Your pipeline is ready. It's time to unleash it. The only real question left is, which path are you going to choose?